Good morning, Taste Buds. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein. As the calendar turns to winter, so too do our thoughts of winter foods. Join me today for a trio that takes full advantage of winter's harvest. That's coming up today on SoFlo Taste. How fun is that? Welcome to Winter SoFlo Style. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein. Welcome to SoFlo Taste and welcome to the Goya Kitchen here at JA World in Coconut Creek. With winter days away, it's time to turn the page in our recipe books and now, more accurately, our phones or tablets to foods of winter. So today I thought it would be fun to cook with the harvest of winter. So let's get cooking. I can't think of anything more wintry than French onion soup, and it's one of my absolute favorites. I don't know about you, but this creamless soup will just not only warm your tummies, but your soul. And it's one that really we can have all year round. We don't have to wait until the SoFlo winter. All right, so just to start off, we've got a lot of onions. This was like 6 pounds of onions that we shaved nice and thin, and we're cooking them down until they get pretty much translucent. By the way, we cook them in oil and butter. And this has taken a good 20 to 30 minutes to get to this stage. Now is the caramelization stage, which to me is the most important part. We're gonna add a little bit of sugar to help the caramelization process along. A nice heavy pinch of salt. You're gonna need it. We're gonna add a couple of bay leaves, and finally thyme. Now the one thing with thyme is if you just throw it in the way it is right now, you're gonna get a lot of pieces of not only big leaves, but you're also gonna get the stem, which is not the most delicious thing to run into when you're having soup. So let's go ahead and wrap the thyme up in a string. So this is called butcher's twine, and you can find this at any store. And then you just want to really wrap this up. And then we just tie it any old way. And then we just throw it in there so that it stays nice and together. We are not going to do a thing. We are just going to let this caramelize. It's going to take us at least 20 minutes for the caramelization process. I've got this on a medium. Now before you go, just so you see everything that's happening, I've got a little bit of beef broth right here heating up, and in the oven the extremely essential toast that will go into the soup that will eventually be covered in a ton of delicious Gruyere cheese for melting. So we're just drawing these out, getting them really good and crispy, getting ready to dive into our onion soup. Come right back. I have foods not only that are wintry, but that are just really for the soul. See you soon. SoFlo Taste will return right after this.
That is so delicious. I have never had curry goat so good. I'm Melinda Harper for SoFlo Taste at the Dutch Pot in Pembroke Pines, and this goat is so good, I've got to go back to the kitchen to see how it's made. And we are in the kitchen with amazing Chef Chris McCullough. Chef, what are you working on right now?
I'm going to work on the curry goat. We're going to do it Jamaican authentic style. And so here I have a little ginger, onion, and also thyme. The next step is to put it in the pot for it to saute, and then I add the goat to it.
All right, let's do it.
Here I'm going to saute it in the oil.
All right, putting all the ingredients in the Dutch pot.
Yeah. So now we're going to pour the curry in for the curry to saute along with the seasoning.
Perfect. And how long do we let this saute before you actually put it in?
About like 2 or 3 minutes.
2 or 3 minutes, okay?
Because you don't want to let it burn too much because it will get dark.
And this is what's next?
This is the goat. We're going to put it in right now. So we combine all the seasoning together right now. Now we're going to cover it and let it simmer for a few. Okay.
After adding a few more secret ingredients they won't let us show you, the curry goat simmers, blending all those incredible flavors together. When finished, it's simply delicious.
Now I'm here to try one of the Dutch Pot Jamaican's restaurant signature dishes, oxtail. And being a meat lover, this should be good. Falls off the bone and melts in your mouth. I think it's time to head back to the kitchen to see how this is made. back in my favorite place, the kitchen, to meet up with JP, who is the operations manager here at the Dutch Spot, and he's going to show us how that awesome oxtail is made. Hi,
doing?
JP, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Melinda. I'm about to show you one of our signature dishes, our oxtail. First of all, this is our traditional Jamaican seasoning that we're using right now.
Okay.
That's our oxtail. We use traditional seasonings along with our Dutch Spot secret seasonings that I can't tell you.
I've been trying to find out what that is.
Nah, I can't share it with you, man. That's a secret. We got thyme, onions, our signature Scotch bonnet peppers. We make everything with this. This is what gives it that oomph.
Right, it gives you that oomph. Hot and
Yes.
spicy, but not scary.
No, it's not scary spicy, but it's just right.
What's next?
Now it's time to handle the meat.
Can't wait to see it. Wow, that looks so good.
Yeah, we pre-season our oxtail from our distribution center, so
Okay.
it's always authentic and it always tastes the same all the time.
And it's been marinating for 2 days?
2 days.
Awesome, oh my
So
gosh.
you know that meat is
It's
right.
gonna be awesome, yeah, it's gonna be delicious.
Now we're going to start cooking. Because it's such a popular meat, we cook a minimum of 40 pounds at a time.
Wow, that's a lot of meat.
That is a lot of meat. Let's go. Yes, we're going to put our vegetables in.
JP, this all looks so great. What's next?
Now we're going to add a couple of our secret ingredients that I can't show you.
Sure you can.
No, I'm sorry. That's what makes Dutch Spot's oxtail so amazing.
good. JP, thank you so much for having me back in the kitchen.
No problem.
I've been in a lot of kitchens, including mine, and this was by far the best.
Thank you.
If anyone wants to come out to have your signature dish, the oxtail or the curried goat, and maybe you never had and you should because it's really good, where do people find you?
We got 9 locations from Miami to West Palm Beach. You can Google, you can get on your smartphone, you can Uber Eats, or you can DoorDash. You're guaranteed to find the closest one near you.
They're not easy to find.
They're very easy to find. Don't listen to her.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste and our winter foods. So I am caramelizing onions for a beautiful French onion soup. And if you want to check out the color before I add the wine so you all know when to add it in, we are at a gorgeous golden brown stage. So now I'm adding lots of beautiful dry white wine, and we're going to just let this come all the way down, and then we'll revisit that in a minute. Moving on to the next recipe, the delicious beef stroganoff. So I thought that I would call my friends over at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market and get the best skirt steak available to turn a gorgeous churrasco or skirt steak into stroganoff. And I'm adding a little bit of Wondra because it really gives it a delicious crust that turns into gravy afterwards. Speaking about my friends over there, they want me to tell you that they have more meat than Arby's. For your holiday season, they have standing rib roast, beef tenderloin, filet mignon, Maine lobster, lobster tails from Florida, chopped livers, smoked fish tip, stone crab platters. By the way, best stone crab I've eaten in probably 10 years. I just had the other day from Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Chicken wing platters, shrimp platters, Delaware's famous homemade turkey brine. The Chicken Farm and Seafood Market is located at 4191 State Road 7 in Hollywood. Go to DelawareChicken.com. Call them 954-983-6831. Place an order with the good folks at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. It is a great start to the holiday season, and tell them Chef Michelle sent you, and tell them I love them. They make me look good. All right, so beef stroganoff, yum. I added a little Wondra. I'm going to add a little bit of salt, and if you only have just regular flour at home, that's perfectly fine too. We just want to give it a good base to make a good gravy afterwards. I'm going to add some butter to the pan, as well as a little bit of olive oil, and I want this to be good and hot so that we get a good sear on it. Then we'll start adding all the other goodies, but I'm not going to go in here until I know that I am really hot and ready to go. Make sure you stir around the onions a little bit because they really will want to stick to the bottom of the pan while you're deglazing that white wine. And I've even gotten more color, which is even better. At this point, I am a beautiful brown, and that's where you want to be for a really good French onion soup. Our butter is basically turned into foam at this point. Now it's good to go ahead and add all of our meat into the pan. So like I said, I'm using skirt steak, which is a little untraditional for this dish. You can use tenderloin. A lot of people use sirloin, but that means that you have to cook it for a much longer period of time. With the skirt steak, you actually cook it less, and it's just so good and so quick. All right, my soup is actually, the wine has basically come down to just below the onions, so I'm gonna add in beef broth and let the broth come down about a third of the way, and we'll almost be done with that. Moving back to our stroganoff, we're just getting a good sear all over the meat. And as that finishes searing, I'm going to go ahead and cut up. I love shiitake mushrooms. I just think they have the most wonderful flavor. So anytime I can add a shiitake, I do. And now is really the most perfect season for mushrooms. So we've got some creminis cut on this side and some shiitakes on this side. You can use really any of your favorite mushrooms. You can even get some porcinis, dried porcinis, and rehydrate them for this dish. That would also be rather delicious and very luxurious. I think that's enough shiitakes for now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and remove the steak, which has left us with a good base to make our sauce, because it's rendered off some of its not only good fat, but a little bit of its juice, which is going to add to our flavor for our stroganoff. You can use a tong or a spoon to gather up all your meat. All right, so we're going to set that aside. So I'm going to add these shiitakes. Some of these creminis. And here I've got a little bit of garlic minced, as well as some very finely diced sweet onions. All right, I'm going to let that all cook down. I'm going to bring this down about a third of the way. Come right back. Let's finish up this beautiful stroganoff together. And of course, we have to make my favorite dish. But before I go, all my recipes are available on the SoFlo Show's webpage. Just point your phone camera at this quick response code. It will take you directly to the new SoFlo's show page. You'll see the QRC on our ingredient list throughout the show. Come right back, because I've got so much more.
Stick around. Things are just heating up in the Goya kitchen at JA World on SoFlo Taste.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste, where I'm all about winter foods. There's a special event coming up here at JA World on Saturday, January 29th, 2022, and it's JA World's Uncorked, a fabulous Epicurean experience hosted by the JA Circle of Wise Women. Some of South Florida's finest restaurants will be highlighted with their culinary creations paired with a vast selection of wine, spirits, and special cocktails. You'll stroll through JA World's 60,000 square foot facility, sampling foods from over 35 restaurants and beverage partners. And of course, live music for dancing, raffles, a silent auction, and more. So again, that's JA World's Uncorked, Saturday, January 29th from 6:30 to 10:30 here in Coconut Creek. For tickets and more information, visit jasouthflorida.org/JA World Uncorked. It's a great event benefiting a great place. Now back to the winter. All right, so I'm in the midst of a delicious stroganoff. Our onions, garlic, mushrooms have cooked. I'm gonna add some delicious sherry, dry sherry. And I'm going to use the same beef broth that I'm using in that French onion soup right over there. Just a little bit to get it nice and juicy. All right, let's get rid of this. Now to this, I'm going to add a little bit of Dijon mustard for flavor. It's begging me for a little bit of salt and pepper. A little shot of Worcestershire, and let's stir that around. Make sure that that mustard and Worcestershire gets spread over the whole delicious mixture. Okay. I've got tarragon and fresh parsley that I just chopped up. I'm adding that skirt steak and all its delicious juices back into the pan. Make sure you get all that juice in there. And we're gonna finish it up with just a little tiny bit of heavy cream. So I'm just gonna let that stew down, but we're basically done. We just want that to kind of start bubbling up in big bubbles, and it's gonna taste delicious. French onion soup, pretty much done as well. I'm just gonna lower the heat, and later on, of course, we're gonna gratinate some cheese over the top of that. Now I wanted to show you one of my favorite winter vegetables, and that is a beet. Now, I want to show you how I cook beets at home. I take a beet and I rub it with a little bit of olive oil and salt, and I wrap it up in this great little package. I don't mess up my pan, and it's just a lot easier and less messy. Also, it steams inside of the package. I cook it at about 400, 425 in my oven at home. Then, I don't have a pair of gloves, but let me show you what I do. The skin comes off just like so. You see that? And it's off. A beautiful, gorgeous, clean, ready to eat warm beet. Now I love them hot and cold, but today I'm going to show you a simple, delicious salad with the most perfect star ingredient, which is the beet. For the salad, I have Belgian endive, which I've sliced right here, and I have curly endive, which is right here. Two things that you can find in pretty much any supermarket. We also have some fresh dill and Italian parsley. I really wanted to do horseradish sour cream for beets. I just think it's delicious. Okay, I've got some red wine vinegar and some olive oil. And then of course we're celebrating citrus as well, because the most perfect time of year to use citrus is now. We've got grapefruit, ruby red grapefruit, blood oranges, regular oranges. I mean, it is just a bounty right now of citrus. And citrus and beets are very good friends because beets are so sweet and the citrus just wakens them right up. So I'm going to show you how to cut a beet so simply that you don't even have to get your cutting board dirty. I'm going to put on some gloves so I don't take the red dye with me. So these have been peeled exactly the way I showed you. And all you have to do is, let's slice one in half. And I prefer the smaller beets to the bigger beets. I juice the big ones and I roast the small ones. So I would just cut this up in nice little slices with a paring knife, just like so, into your salad. Because just so you know, when you cut a beet on your cutting board, that is going to live there for a very long time. Now, golden beets are a little bit different. They don't have the same sweetness as a red beet. Let's go ahead and use about 3 beets for this salad. Oh, look, our stroganoff has come together. It's ready for its noodles. I'm going to throw some noodles in my stroganoff. These are just egg noodles because it's pretty much ready. Now, I like more meat than noodle, but you can use more noodle than meat. It's really up to you. I'll add my citrus to my salad. And of course, it's delicious juices that has fallen off of it. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil to this. The tiniest bit of vinegar. We already have some citrus juice, so you don't want too much in there. And of course, a little bit of salt and pepper. So look how beautiful this is. You have citruses, you have beets, and then this is for me, but this last little touch, I just take this mixture of prepared horseradish mixed with a little bit of creme fraiche and just dot the top. Ah, so delicious. So I'm going to mix up the noodles with the beef because it is ready. We're going to spoon up some of this gorgeous French onion soup. Let's gratinate that in just a couple minutes when y'all come back, because I know you're not going to want to miss that. See you in a minute. I think they're ready. All right. Oh yes. So there you have it, your gorgeous French onion soup with melting Gruyere. Ah, I can't think of anything better. Well, winter is coming. Now, a SoFlo winter is not what they get up in my husband David's Minnesota, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy the harvest of winter and their foods right here at home. These recipes can still be warming and comforting, even in SoFlo. Next week, I'm celebrating Noche Buena, the good night. It's a traditional Latin Christmas Eve celebration, and happily, food plays a large part of that celebration. I'll have an entire menu from roast pork to rice pudding, so join me for Noche Buena next time on SoFlo Taste. Now let's check in with my friend Hunter Frankie from SoFlo Health. Good morning, Hunter. What are you doing tomorrow afternoon at 12:30?
Hey, Michelle. I'm out here shooting some hoops and sharing the health benefits of playing some basketball tomorrow on SoFlo Health. And after we've worked up an appetite, we'll visit Meryl Brandwine, a functional nutritionist that's going to teach us how to snack healthier and the difference between all the prepackaged snacks that you'll find in the store. It's something that you and the kids won't want to miss. And Chef Almodovar has the answer for vegans that are looking for Christmas appetizers that don't have the meat and the dairy like many of the traditionals. It's all right here on Local 10 at 12:30 tomorrow for SoFlo Health.
Awesome. Thank you, Hunter. We'll see you on Local 10 then. So, Taste Buds, thanks for spending another Saturday morning with me. I love sharing our time together. Please be smart, be safe, and be vaccinated, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye, and very good taste. No man is an island.